Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. Today with another WTCOC preseason game. It's the Ukrainians again, this time versus Latvia. Noticeably without Alexei because he's streaming this match as well. I'll focus on Adria versus Krishna first and foremost, and also have an eye on one or two other matches as duels as well. Alexei has said he'd like to start with Divaka versus Izetsus. So I'd expect quite a few high-level matches, at least on the first 5 tables. So let's see how this one goes here. I just need to config this, and this time I'll try to cover 3 games concurrently, at least by viewing them. I'm likely only commenting on one of these games. So let's check if they have already started. It doesn't look so. No one has started. That's curious. Insert Jeopardy music. Do I have the wrong time or what's up here? It is 19 UTC. Maybe something was postponed. Let's check Smiley. Yep, they are online. And how about Pavel Brin? Because these would be the 3 games I'd cover. First and foremost, as I said, Adria versus Krishna, because that's the highest rated one, and I fairly like Krishna's play style. Okay, I'll have to check Discord here. But nothing there as well. Curious. Oh, there we go. So at least some of these games are starting. Well, if the others aren't, why not check out another game in the meantime? Looks like VGA is quite slow, and that might be the reason why the other games aren't running. Whoa. Yeah, let's see if this works even. Because if loading animations are all we get to see, this won't be interesting at all here. Well, it's quite curious. I set you on tech issues. Please stand by. I'll try to fix this. Okay guys and gals, I'm back. Turns out it was a browser issue. I'm sorry for missing half the duels, or rather half the first game of these duels already. So let's get going. I'm focusing on Krishna versus Adria, as I said. So the quadruple crossroad was discarded. Adria is 10 points ahead on the scoreboard. And we have a huge city in the middle that's that maybe will be taken over by Adria sometime soon. 4 big city tiles are already gone. There is no easy attacking option for Krishna right now, but if Adria is gonna close his attack here, there will be another option for Krishna. 2 of Krishna's monastery meeples are already dead, and there's another meeple by him that won't score more points because it's a farmer. But the field, of course, still has some potential. And right now, I'd say Krishna is ahead by quite a lot of points due to these monasteries and the field, of course. But in the long run, if Adria manages to snatch this city, I'd favor him to win this game. With the 3 windows, I'll have to check if this even works out. Because if there are games quite horizontal, I'll have to play with the zoom a bit. That's actually BGA's smallest zoom possible, so I'd have to use the browser zoom, and we'll see about that. So at least our protagonists are playing reasonably slow, so I can catch up with the game. Hi chat. So Krishna gets a horse. There's still 1 horse left and 1 cow plus the quadruple city. One of these, I'd say, is necessary for Adria to win this game, because if he can't snatch the big city from Krishna, I don't see him scoring the necessary points to outscore these 4 meeples on the left side, or rather in the middle of the board. Yeah, 3 matches. I'd really would like to have 5 on screen, but this is really tricky, and then sometimes eyesight might become an issue. In Germany we say Mäusekino, which translates to mice cinema. And here we go. That's exactly the configuration I mentioned. Adria gets the big city tile, but immediately afterwards Krishna attacks, and now, whoa, he even adds the extender because he knows Adria isn't really that likely to re-attack again, and he'd like to kill this one because 3 starting tiles are already gone, and any city piece over here would kill this meeple immediately. Meanwhile, let's try and check if the other games are all running, and they are, and the update works. Nice so far. Looks like a close game on the right side. Although the field here by blue. But there's an attack by yellow. Okay. So now I only have to switch all Latvians to yellow. Yes, now it works. So Ukraine blue, Latvia yellow. Adria chose to further limit the monastery and the field, even though I'm not sure this is actually his intention, because now he attacks. There's still one monastery each available for this square, but no vanilla. But the block over here is quite tricky because you definitely need a cow or an extender. Or maybe a Dorito, but with a Dorito that'd still be the other way, which would be more unlikely if you'd block the cow or an extender. But he gets the monastery immediately, of course, with 2 meeples in hand. He takes the 7 points. But Krishna gets to connect. Also has blocked, or rather killed, blue's meeple. Yeah, maybe I have to adjust my icons as well. So right now these guys are tied, these are tied. Adria has 10 points on the scoreboard. Krishna has these 16 minus this one on the right side. So Krishna is ahead by 5 points. Nope. 3 points. Missed that blue road zombie. Not a meeple anymore, he's dead now. So is this a zombie? I don't know. Yeah, so that meeple count 2 each. But the Latvian has 13 points more to equal the scoreboard lead. So what's up with Smiley and Dirty Old Town? 0 tiles remaining on the left game. Last move. So just trying to find the most points available. And what's up with this field here? I don't see any farmer on this field. Oh, there's one. Okay, they take their time. Meanwhile, I totally missed that there was a sinister hamster at the top of Krishna's monastery, and he even got the road monastery. Adria tried to block this, and Krishna got the last starting tile. Adria has to attack the field now because he's quite significantly behind. So the 16 points on the scoreboard for Krishna plus 8 here, 24 minus the 3. 21 points, so even if Adria attacks the field successfully, he's still behind by 9 points and has no meeple in hand and no way to get one back except for closing the huge city, which is quite unlikely because there aren't that many tiles left to do so. Although with 7 tiles to go, getting one of the last pieces is likely actually, because there are still 2 city crossroads remaining, no starting tiles, and no right-handed daggers. So let's update the scoreboard. Looks like the Ukrainians have taken more first games than the Latvians so far. Smiley on the left side won by 4 points. Krishna diligently checks the point count, I guess, but with this field on top, I don't think there's any chance left for Adria here. So let's focus a bit on the right game. But we are already too late because this is Pavel Brin's last move. Luckily for him, he got the last cow, which would have allowed Napalm Eye to snatch this huge ruin from blue. So instead of scoring these 20 points, it's a roughly 15-point ruin for blue. And together with the field up top and this monastery here, it looks quite good for blue actually. So let's count real quick. 8 points blue, 1 point blue, 3 points yellow, 0, and the rest of the city scores 12 points blue, 24, 25, 15. And there's no way to attack anything with only 1 piece in hand. So Krishna and Adria have finished their game. In the end, it was a 17-point win for Krish. And they are already playing their second one. Let's quickly load this. Come on, not again. Okay. Maybe a reload would have worked back then as well. Yeah. Hi Sergey. Yeah, the discarded tile view is from one of my scripts. Sadly not allowed in the WTCOC because of I don't know what. But anyway, this should be a function offered by BGA. and not by scripts from some random dude anyway. Okay. Bryn takes a break. Has enough minutes on the clock left, so why not? So Krishna and Adria. Oh, I have to switch the colors again. Damn it. So now we have the Latvians in yellow and Ukraine in blue again. Adria with a city in the middle, but there are quite a few problems for this city. But Krishna prefers to save his road instead of maybe limiting the city to the dagger, which is only left once. That's interesting, to say the least. So in the end, Pavel Bryn won by 14 points. And I think all duels are in their second game, and that's exactly the case. So far, the Latvians are leading in 4 duels. So 7-4 in Ukraine's favor. And another problem with the interface, you can only zoom in or out if no move is happening right now. So in especially fast games, it's sometimes tricky to even zoom. Yeah, so Krish gets the road monastery. Really would have liked to put it there, but he opted to save his road instead, which I won't fault him for. He could have gone over here with the curve, of course, and then hoping to get the monastery and the regular one, but it's pretty risky, so not exactly the way you'd go if there are other options. And this one here is okay, of course. Adria snags this field. 9 points right now. Still chances to expand this. He creates a slight problem for Yellow's monastery over here. Because if prisoner attacks the city on the left side, this square might become problematic. Not exactly with the starting tile, but he doesn't even attack there. Just opts to create a problem here for both the monastery and the city. But blue gets a city cap, exactly like the doctor ordered. The rear gets to close their city up top, and there's still no attack, no blocking attempt from yellow. That's quite interesting. This here is a 50-50 because there's only one starting tile left. 2 are here, and one, of course, is atop the monastery. So it might be a long time until 1 or 2 of the monastery meeples by blue will come back in the hands of blue. Yellow gets to expand their long road, and I think Adria would love to attack this one here. Pre-closing their city and trying to get his hands on an 11-point road, which was more or less exclusively built by Yellow. He doesn't even go for the city. Wow. I mean, all 5 field Doritos are gone. Yeah, sure. But the problem with this is exactly this move here. There are still tiles to attack this. So I'm not sure I would have done that. There are still options to close it. There was the last dagger, so you could have put a city cap here. And even if Krishna were to try to block this, or to attack for that matter, there are still 2 splitters available. You'd still have options to close the city. And then there was this move here, which might have some merits because it protects this field at least a tiny bit. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this move, as you might have gathered. So Krish blocks the monastery, kills it even, and tries to run away with an 8-point extender city. Meanwhile, Adria still has hope, gets to save their meeples, and considering there's 1 starting tile left, he might even get a 6-point road in the end, or take this 6-point ruin. It's a ruin officially because this square is limited to the same as this one on the right. And there's only 1 starting tile left. Meanwhile, Kush hopes to get a cap soon because blue starts an attacking platform here, but is unsuccessful. Now this one is blocked because because all big city tiles are gone. Let me quickly count just to be sure. 8 big city tiles. So these meeples are dead as well. For a blue mini battle win, of course, to the tune of 10 points plus these 16. These monasteries are equal totally right now, maybe not in the end because there could still be something happening there. And there should still be there's no dagger left, so this square is dead as well. So where was I? 10 points for the ruin, more or less equalized by the road. 16 here for blue, 9 here. So roughly 20 points ahead. Adria, that is. So how do you, as yellow, get back into the game? Yeah, sure. There is this option up top, and you definitely need to close this and get the field ASAP. But if blue gets to score these quick points, it's pretty tough to counter that. Yep, there is the 9-point move for Krishna, but still roughly 15 points behind. And now that Adria gets a 6-point field plus these 2 points for the monasteries and 2 meeples back, it's rather unlikely that yellow will have a chance in this game. So Smiley puts the Ukrainians on the board with an 89-79 win. Let's refresh the scoreboard and quickly add another game to the slot. How about Lawyer versus only Denver? Let's see if Lawyer manages to win a second game as well. And this looks fairly close. So there are monasteries which are equal. 3 points for blue, 6 points blue, 2 points blue, 1 point yellow, 6 points blue, equal. So blue should be 3 points ahead, and that's 9 points now. And that's game for blue, quite likely. Meanwhile, Krishna got to add another city to their field at the bottom. And another point to the monastery on the left side. But Adria took a 7-point ruin plus a 6-point monastery. And even a few quick points here or there won't save this game for the Latvian. So we get to see a decider here. Yep, quite lopsided in the end even. So let's check the other duels as well. Nazario and Apple G. Oh, that looks nice. A tied first game won by Apple G. And the second game was won by 1 point by Nazario. Tanya Yu has also scored a duel win for the Ukrainians. And on the left side, we just see the counting, the scoring of Lawyer's win versus only Denver. 6 points in the end. So that's 3-0 Ukraine. And I missed the first move of Krishna versus Adria. Both scored small cities. So the scoreboard is tight right now. On the left, we now have Nazario versus Apogee, their decider already. And as long as Krishna is thinking about this, I'm not sure why, because this one here might be the move actually. Everything else would... That's interesting. So he expects an attack from blue and puts his vanilla cap there to then thwart blue's attack. Maybe. That's why I like to watch his games. More or less tricky, interesting, sometimes even weird, but you can learn one trick or the other from Krishna in more or less every game, so it's a show. Yeah, now he indirectly continues continues his road, because he still would need 2 pieces over here, but a curve would be quite nice, as there then would be no option for blue to attack this. But he uses a quick point tile just to score the road. Monastery is under attack on the left side. There are still 2 daggers remaining to liberate the monastery meeple. Blue with an indirect attack on the city here, but he'd also take this one with an extender if possible, of course. Meanwhile, Krishna tries to limit blue's road up top to a crossroad. Still 6 out there, so not a big problem if your opponent invests 2 tiles into limiting your road to 5 instead of 6 points. And that's why Krishna even scores these 3 points. Notably with the road piece to the right side, because that gives quite fewer options to block his city on the right. And even if there would be a curve, there are still 3 daggers left. And these are the other kind. Yep, and here comes the restriction. Blue scores 2 points. And now Krishna really needs both kinds of daggers. Meanwhile, on the right side in the game of Pavel Brin versus Napalm Eye, looks like the Ukrainian has a pretty decent lead on the scoreboard with 24 points right now. And on the board, the features favor the Latvian at least a bit. There is a huge ruin here. And what about this configuration? There is no cow left, so this one is dead. So these 4 city meeples are all dead. And yellow's road meeple is dead because there's no road monastery left. These meeples are dead because there's no starting tile left. This one here is dead. Oh man. So this means blue won't get any meeple back into his hand because this one is dead as well. Okay. Just a few moves left, so no big problem. So yellow might hope to snatch these 6 points here, and indeed there's still the one curve to do so. And instead he takes 5 points. Not 5 points, it's 8 points because this one field meeple over here sends their field all the way up to the top. And in the end, it's a 17-point win for Pavel Brin. Meanwhile, Zetsus has won 2-0 versus De Vaca. And Ava Atoll beat Sprigolis 2-0 as well. And Max DK scored a 2-0 win, lost 2-0 versus Zone 222. So now let's check Spitkey. Adria closed their city, tried to attack the shared city in the middle, but then Krishna tried to block this, and Adria got the second splitter as well to prevent the block and also snatch a 9-point field. Quite nice. Now Krishna really would like to take this field here while adding rotary to their city. But there's only one rotary left, and so they might have to wait a while. Now the city is under attack, and this could get quite problematic. There are still 2 starting tiles left, so even a curve like this would limit this square to 2 pieces, but then he'd need another city plus road tile, preferably, for example, the rose. There should still be 2 in the deck to then score these 3 points here and snatch this 12-point field. This would be the ideal configuration for yellow. The only problem is he only has 1 meeple in hand, so he won't be able to score the road and take the field at the same time. So still all 3 daggers left for the city on the right side. Blue didn't try to block this because they got a lot of city tiles, and the one on the left side is definitely the higher priority because the upside of scoring this city would be way higher than this 6 points on this possible 6 points on the right side. I missed to click on go to game. Yeah. So meanwhile, yellow blocks this here. Maybe trying to limit blue's road. But as I said, there are still 2 starting tiles left. So not really a big problem for Adria, although of course they would have preferred to put a straight there, then easily close their road with any curvy tile. But they don't mind using their last meeple if it's boring, as in this case 7 points, and still is quite likely to be liberated. Or rather, there is at least one meeple quite likely to be liberated, namely this one here. Any road piece would score them 3 points and give them the precious meeple back. Blue, more or less. Maybe this still can be closed. Also, in theory, of course, it still can be closed because there are still 3 daggers for this square remaining. But this here creates another problem, and then of course you'd need a 3rd city cap, and that's quite a high investment. So most likely I'd say yellow would like to get this dagger and meeple the field, but this will only happen if it's late in the game, because it's still their last meeple. This city config at the top left, unlikely to be resolved because both splitters are gone. And now, whoa. I wouldn't have expected this move here. Because if Krishna is able to close this, as I said, there are still 3 daggers available. No, there aren't 3, only 2. But still, why not kill this city here? Put the horse there, or if there aren't, oh, there are still 2 vertical dividers, so putting the horse to the right side wouldn't have worked, because there are still 2 tiles here. But going here, then Krishna would have needed at least 2 more pieces to close his city. And now he still has a chance. And it's a good chance at that. Bitki won their 2nd game versus Silent Monk. So that's at least the 6th duel win for the Ukrainians. So if this were actually relevant, the Ukrainians would have won this right now, because they are leading this 6-2. But it's a friendly match, so what do we cover next? We actually don't have anything to choose from. There are only 3 duels running. Whoa, Krish closed their city and tried to attack Blue's field. There even still a curve left to do so. One curve is still left, okay. Blue got one of the daggers, yellow got the other one, but blue meepled the field as insurance. But considering the scoreboard deficit and these monasteries over here, yellow has no chance but try and close this city. But even then, it's unlikely they win here. At least that's my gut feeling. Actually haven't counted. So maybe Adria takes their time. Let's try to assess the score here. 6-14 for yellow. 2 yellow. 9 for the field meeple, so 7 blue plus 7 for the road, 14 blue. Prisoner gets to close their city, but this won't help. This blues win here. Yep. Almost 30 points. So this is the 7th win for the Ukrainians. And Nazario's game is over as well. He scores the 8th win. Man. And Kolpnik and Arshulis are playing on the right board. It's their second game, not even the decider. And I think now we could zoom in a bit. As all other duels are done. These two should get all the focus they deserve. This looks like a Brazilian field fight. Wow. 4-4 meeples. And quite an interesting road config on the left side. And yellow gets to snatch the road for the tune of 9 points. So blue is behind by 7. And they got the road monastery. So maybe there's still an option here with a curve. How many curves are still left, if any? No curves. How about the daggers? They are gone as well. How about, so just to highlight this monastery here. Yeah, this here doesn't work because yellow just can score points here. And blue had to go over here and hope to get the last vanilla cap to then win the game. At least that's my quick assessment here. Let's check what's the score at the end. Yeah, 7 points for yellow. And oh man, yeah, maybe I'm a bit too tired. This of course wasn't an option because over here is no connection. Yeah, so I'm sorry, Kolpnik. I was wrong. This here. No, I wasn't wrong actually. He could have attacked with the road monastery over here. And with the vanilla would have snatched this field here to the tune of 24 points. Yep, 24 points. So minus the 9. And I think yellow had scored this one here, so would have scored +1. Yeah, I think this would have been blue's win if they would have gotten the last vanilla cap, which they didn't. So let's hop to their last game. Because it has already started. Yep, just in time to witness the first move and a decisive lead by Kotnik. I'll have to take a sip of water. Please excuse me for a moment. Okay, now I know why they are still playing and all others are done, were done minutes, I don't know, quarter of an hour ago. Looks like they are taking their sweet time for every move. And are playing weird moves. What is this? 3 road ends available. And Ashulis doesn't take any one of these. So I've just switched colors. We had the Latvians playing yellow all the way, so let's keep it at that. Yeah, Kolpnik thinking about whether to meeple this over here. And there would be, in theory, this iffy square here. But it's quite likely that he could either protect this or that someone will get the road monastery. Yeah. As it should be. Ashulis states that the c4 was discarded, or rather that there is a carded tile. And these highlights here are courtesy of one of my scripts, because I still don't get why, but PGA is BGA, and they still haven't done anything about this situation. Quite frustrating. So Ashulis gets another monastery, or rather their first one, the second in the game. They don't meeple this. Oh man. This will be a long evening. Yeah, at least rescoring these 3 points here. Blue will now try to run away with the city. The only question is whether go at the bottom or here. Both have their merits. This one, of course, is a bit safer because there's no direct attacking option and you aren't limiting a top city. But this one here would allow you to close your city up top. But then there would be this square for yellow to exert pressure on both of blue cities. So this move is actually the better one. Yellow opts to help slash restrict blue, but if they do this, this here is a must, and it's a must with a city piece. So even this one might have to wait, but still they decide to take these 3 points now. But with the curve, they have to go here. But Kolpnik immediately saves this. Still has 4 cows left. So more or less 93% chance of closing the city. Which doesn't bode well for yellow here. So they need to dodge these cows and get the first road monastery at least and be successful with an attack on the left side. Then maybe with the meeple majority trying to create a huge field here. Kolpnik defends slash limits their city, of course. 1 dagger is already gone, so a restriction like this is quite likely. Now blue gets another monastery. If it weren't for these 3 starting tiles gone, this here would be pretty nice. But now it's too iffy for them. The 3 meeples in hand. Yeah. Still could have gone for this because if any road plus city tile, yellow actually was more likely to attack on the left. And now it would have been saved indeed. Blue scores 3 points, also leaving this 3-point road for yellow to take. So a -1 exchange that they could have played this move here and excuse me. And then could have hoped to get a curve over here to score a 6-point road. Else there was this loop road on the right side, of course. So yeah, not perfect. Blue just dumps a perfectly nice piece because they wouldn't like to score these 2 points, as this would indirectly continue yellow's city piece on the left side. I'm sorry, but Just score these damn 2 points. You have 3 meeples in hand. Take the city piece if yellow doesn't. If yellow does, try to kill this here. But just dumping this? No. No. Just no. Not with 3 meeples in hand. And another dumped tile. Why not just limit yellow, prevent a second attack by yellow, at least do something that does something. Yeah, so Ashulis takes the city up top, but blue gets the road monastery, scores the 9 points, still has hope to liberate their monastery meeple. I have to get some water. I'll be back. And I'm back again. So yellow now tries to limit, kill, block blue's monastery, but there are still curves left, and so Kolpnik just has to defend this. Likely thinks about meepling this, but this here is so iffy, so problematic. I'd rather avoid this. Taking the road instead is actually quite nice. But yellow should counter this on the left side once, or if they get the chance. So now this here, no, actually this one is way better. Okay, taking 4 points is nice as well. But now yellow has to counter and oh man. Oh man, what is this? Go here. You have 5 meeples in hand. 5. Yep, blue scores their city on the right side as well, and now I'm rooting against the splitter for blue because that would mean game over if they get the splitter and could meeple the field as well. Now they might even consider taking the city here, else there is of course a semi-block up top. And yep, they go for the semi-block. Of course, there's still the road at the bottom, but I wouldn't mind having this road ruin in the end. Ashulis now will for sure take the field. Yeah, I wasn't convinced totally, but 9 points. Actually 9 yellow points. And a cow tile, which could be used over here to limit the field on the left side. Or what else is there? Dump it here just to prevent the city from being snatched by yellow. Of course, right now, blue's ahead by roughly 15 points. But with 2 meeples plus in hand, yellow might have enough firepower to counter these 15 points. So limiting the field it is. There are still 2 cows left. So yellow goes for this option, hopes to attack here and close and get a cow to snatch this. Then 22 points city, something like that. Quite a nice idea. Now, does blue take this option? Why not? 20 tiles to go, so according to the usual heuristic, 2 meeples in hand are sufficient. Just go for it. If you win the city, it's your game. It's your duel. Yeah, this is also an option. So because there's still one splitter available, which would fit here, of course, blue goes this way. So having a meeple that's likely to be liberated or able to attack yellow. Blue's only real problem would be if yellow were to get the splitter and then 2 Doritos. Considering there are still 2 road Doritos and 2 field Doritos one road Dorito and 2 field Doritos available. This still was an option. But yellow doesn't go for this, just protects their part of the city. And they actually wouldn't have any problem using the splitter over here because this would add 6 points to their field instead of just 3 if they'd use a field Dorito. But this here also creates an attacking option from the left side. Even though you need a straight curve, crossroad, road monastery, except for the crossroad, all still available. And starting tile would work as well, but all 4 starting tiles are gone. So let's see if blue later attacks over here, or if they'd rather use the top option. Now a farmer for sure. Meanwhile, yellow got to add another 6 points to their field, which now is worth 18 points right now. But with 19 points on the scoreboard for blue, even the juicy field doesn't win yellow the game. So stealing this here from blue might be a nice option, because then they'd have 24 field points. But still, blue would be ahead by these 10 plus 6. So 16 minus the difference of scoreboard and 24-point field. So still 15 points for blue. And why is there no meeple on this monastery? Could someone explain this to me? 5 in hand. How many moves left? Damn it. So that's no application to the WTCOC team of Latvia for sure. Blue takes over the 12-point field on the left side. And now that's game over here. So let's actually check what will be happening the next days. Nothing so far. Oh man. No scheduled games except for this one today until the weekend. And then we are having 4. Yeah. That's sad. So now yellow meeples a 5-point monastery. Yeah, why not this one here? Yep. Last stages, blue takes some points, expanding their lead. Yellow scores another 4. But this is just scoreboard cosmetics. So, dear team captains, how about some matches this week? Yep. If you plan something, please post your dates and lineups on carcassonne.gg. So, Ashulis with their last move, taking 3 points somewhere, myriads of ways. And let's just update the scoreboard one last time. The Ukrainians taking their 9th win. Yep, more or less as expected. I would have thought that the tables 1 to 5 would have been a bit closer than 4 to 1. Prisoner, for example, Napalm Eye. This could have won, but they didn't, and so this one is a quite lopsided affair. And I'm rambling on, so I'll stop. Have a nice night or nice evening, whatever. See you around. Bye bye.